Hey y'all, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are talking all about the new ABH Norvina palette. We're going to do some demos. You'll get to see how I got this look here, and then at the end, I will give you my thoughts. Let's get into it. For our first shade, we're going in with Eccentric, we're using that as a transition color. And after Eccentric, we're going to dip into Passion. We're going to put Passion right in the crease as well, and then on the outer crease. I had zero issues with these shades blending together. I didn't notice anything getting muddy. Now this shade is a beautiful shade. We're going in with the Dazzling, but Dazzling is super chunky and has a lot of fallout. So keep that in mind. You can see how it's kind of just spreading all over the place and falling. Next up, I just wanted to go ahead and blend everything out to soften the blow a little bit, get rid of some of that fallout. And for our inner tear duct, we're going to go in with Celestial. This is a beautiful color. This is one of those colors you could put in the inner tear duct, all over the lid. Just really pretty. And then we're going to take Passion and use that as our waterline for our eyeliner. And then that's going to be it for the first look. Second look, we're going to go ahead with Eccentric again in the crease for a transition. Then with a 217 brush from MAC, we're going to go in with Volatile. Volatile is going all the way in the crease, and it's also going to go on the inner corner and outer corner. Next up, we're taking the shade Incense, and this is a beautiful matte shade to put all over the lid. Very creamy, blended out very nicely. And for that waterline, we're going to go in with Soul. Soul is a beautiful color. Wasn't sure how it was going to look on my skin tone, but it looks really nice and vibrant. Not as pastel as you think. And then for the inner tear duct, I mixed the shades Base and Dreamer together. And that is going to be the complete look for the second demo. Alright, for the last look, we're going to go in with this pink shade called Love in the transition crease area. I was impressed with this color. I thought it was going to be very pale, ashy on me, and it was not. It worked out really nicely. After that, we're going to take Drama. Drama is a shimmer, and it is not chunky like the other one. So that one's going to go on the outer crease. We're going to work that all the way into the crease right on top of Love, but not too high. Next up, Wild Child. Wild Child disappointed me. It looks super pink and pretty in the pan, but for some reason, it just didn't look that vibrant and pink on me. And as you can see, the fallout is real with Wild Child. Wild Child is wild. After Wild Child, we're going to go in with Summer in the center of the lid. Summer is super chunky as well. It's a pretty tone though. I do like it. Summer is more like a champagne tone. Just be careful because it will fall out everywhere. As you can see here, I'm going to show you guys. There is the fallout. It's all under my eyes and all on the side of my nose. And for our waterline, we're going to go back in with Drama. Again, Drama was super smooth, blended out very nicely in the waterline. Popping that Wild Child back in the inner corner and blending it up some more. And that is going to complete the last look. So the ABH Norvina palette runs for $42, just like all the other palettes. It has that same type of packaging, so the felt, mine is already dirty, not a fan of that, but it is what it is. And then, whoops, you have the lovely inside here. So I thought the shade range for this palette was super interesting because I needed a new cool tone palette. The only cool tone palette I have is the Tarte Tartelette palette, and that one's getting a little bit old. I've had it for a long time. I thought this would be a great palette to add to my collection. I love the purple tones. This is arranged a little bit differently. So we have the mattes all on the bottom, and then we have the shimmers all on the top. Let's talk about the mattes first. So the mattes are interesting to me. Something that I noticed is that what you see with this palette ain't necessarily what you're gonna get. And here's what I mean. I feel like the shades Volatile, Eccentric, and Passion, they do not go on the eyes the way they look in the pan. They look much darker. I thought the Passion shade was gonna pop off more so like a cranberry tone, and it did not. Eccentric was a trip. This is like the perfect burnt orange transition color. No, goes on brown. I thought Volatile was actually going to be too cool for me. Volatile has a deep purple undertone. So in the crease, it looks taupe, but then when you put it on the eye, that's not what it is at all. So that was really interesting to me. I feel like as far as the mattes go, the only ones that really pop off as they look in the pan are going to be the ones that are light, and I thought these would be very ashy and not work on me, but I was wrong. So Love is exactly what you see is what you get. That's what I have in on my crease right now. The shade Soul's dope. I use that in my waterline, pop off exactly the same. Incense popped off really nicely all over the lid too for like a nice creamy matte look. Very impressive. The only shades that I have not used in here was Base, and that's just simply because Base is stark white, so I didn't use that. Now let's talk about the shimmers. Okay, the shimmers are beautiful in this palette. However, whenever I do my eyeshadow looks, I am not someone that wets my brush. This is just me. I feel like if I have to wet my brush to make a shadow more intense, then I don't know, it just doesn't make sense for me. In order for me to get full intensity of a shadow, I have to wet a brush. I feel like when I put my brush in and put it on my eyes, it should be good to go. That's just my personal opinion. Sometimes I get it, you know, if you want something to be more intense, I understand, but that's just not something that I do because I feel like it should be good to go already. With these shimmers, Summer, Wild Child, Dazzling, Rose Gold, yeah, Rose Gold too. Oh yeah, I haven't used Rose Gold. The reason why I didn't use Rose Gold was just simply because I felt like everybody was using it, and Rose Gold doesn't really look Rose Gold to me. It looks kind of like burgundy, but that's okay. But Summer, Wild Child, Rose Gold, and Dazzling, they are chunky. The texture of these shimmers are very interesting. They feel very soft, almost spongy like, so I believe that's why they're a little bit chunkier. Whenever I put them on my brush, I would have a ton of fallout. With this palette, make sure you do not do any base work first, because if you do, you are going to have loads of fallout on your face. So do your eyes first, especially when working with the shimmers, and then do your base. These are chunky, super soft. They are beautiful, but it's just something to be aware of because of these being so, yeah, it threw me off the first time I used it, and I stuck my brush in it and put it on my eye and all of it fell everywhere. I was kind of like, okay. So make sure when you go in, just press it lightly and tap it on your eye, and not because of the fallout, because I feel like at this point I'm not bothered by fallout. So all palettes have fallout of some sort, so that's not enough to make me not want to use a palette. But the reason why I say go in with a light touch is just simply because if you press down too hard, because they are so soft, you are going to get a lot of fallout. So those shades are super chunky, but the shade Dreamer, Celestial, and Drama, they were just like your normal shimmers. Those those are definitely a different consistency than the other shades in this palette. Now, do you need this palette? For me, I am an ABH collector. Anything they drop as far as eyeshadow goes, I'm going to buy. I would say get this palette if you are someone who likes cool tones and you like purple. If you do not like cool tones and you do not like purple, you will not like this palette. Bottom line, that's just straight up what it is. On the flip side of this, because this palette can be a little bit deceiving, I would say no, you don't need it, because I like to think of it as more so as my subscribers that are beginners. I can see how if you're a beginner and you start working with this palette, you can be like, oh shoot, wait a second, I wasn't quite ready for that. I don't think that you need to have a specific skill level to use this palette. This isn't anything like Subculture. Subculture was a whole nother beast. This is not like that. However, I did realize just putting the shades on my eyes, if you're expecting to come up with, I don't know, like a deep cranberry tone in the crease, on me, it wasn't that. It went really dark. Same thing with the Eccentric. If you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna just put it in the crease for a transition, it's brown. So I feel like that can be a little confusing. Also, just with how spongy the shimmery shades are, that could be a little bit annoying. It takes a little bit of patience when working with it. Now, I don't think this is a bad palette, not at all. I'm just thinking of it from as far as someone who is a novice or a beginner. I can see how those things would kind of make me not want to deal with it. I find it interesting because I've just now started looking at reviews. So after I went ahead and filmed my video, that's when I started looking at reviews. And from a lot of the people that I like and follow, seems like everyone who loves soaps, it seems like everyone who loves Subculture doesn't like this, which I'm kind of like, that's interesting, but you know, subjective, to each his own. If I were you guys, I would definitely go into the store, touch it, swatch it, see how you feel about it. I gave you my honest opinion. Again, I love ABH. I do like the palette, so I'll continue using it, but I just wanted to throw those things out there just for you guys that are wondering if you should pick up this palette or not. So thank you so much for watching. Down below, let me know if you are going to pick up this palette, and if you haven't, let me know your thoughts on it and how you feel about it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Peace.